Hi, I'm Alan SoCal, and I'm going to review the Bushtec Night Vision Monocular. It's what we call active infrared, and that means that there are infrared light units that will illuminate what's in front of you. And then there is a vision device or a camera that is sensitive to infrared that will then give back to you a monochrome, basically a black and white image. This particular project is active infrared, and I went through Amazon. I'm not going to bore you with too many details, may have already done it so far, but I am going to show you what I recorded from this device, by the way, and show you the difference between taking a look at what appears to be pretty dark and then turning on the infrared and all of a sudden you're seeing something, or going from a diminished image with very little light at night and then going infrared, and then it brings everything up because you're essentially shining light on an item that didn't have much available visible light, but now you're using infrared both to illuminate and then, of course, to view. It has a battery cover, and the reason I want to show you this, there are three little lines embossed into the plastic, molded in so you can push. Okay, I think I got it. This is not a friendly battery cover. I was expecting there. Okay, so I got the battery cover off. So now you know, if you found it difficult, you're not the only one. There are 3 batteries showing. They are AA's. And then below these 3, there are 2 more. There's a total of 5 1.5 volt batteries. They mention, of course, the vendor page mentions that, and I'm going to slide this cover back in, make sure it lines up. It's not a real comfortable snap in. It's brittle plastic to begin with, so I get worried a bit. So that's one of my issues. I didn't care much for the case material. I certainly don't like the way the battery cover laboriously has to be taken out and then put back in. So the other thing I'll share with you, this device, and I'm going to hold it toward one of my 45-degree, there it is over there, it's all black. Okay, the case is black and the operating buttons are black. So guess what? Now you've got a challenge. You really have to memorize these buttons. So there are 3 on your left as you're holding the unit, and then there are 3 more buttons on the top. Well, memorizing those, because they're dual function, most of them are dual function buttons, that can be a task. This is in fact the optics in. This is the glass optics in. This area down here is the infrared light unit, which is transmitting out infrared light energy. So I'm going to end with this, and then I'm going to show you some night vision stuff, which is going to be a lot more interesting. This unit does not come with batteries. It does come with your typical, I call them handkerchiefs, import handkerchiefs for cleaning the optics. And then you get a mini USB cable because the unit has a mini USB port. My computer didn't recognize anything. It also comes with a micro SD card. I forgot to mention that. And again, that's another, it's like a covert device, because it's night vision. On the bottom, as you're using this or looking at the bottom left side, there's a little rubber flap. I don't know if this is showing up, but this rubber flap, it covers the micro USB card, or the micro SD card. I'm going to take this out, but There we go. So they do give you a 32 megabit micro SD, and it loads in the bottom here in this little slot, and then just next to that is a micro USB. I'm going to have to read up on that. And you've got a quarter 20 threaded half hole down here, obviously for mounting on a small tripod, a mini tripod or a full-size tripod, and I would highly recommend that. I've already tried recording with this. It's not easy holding it, hand holding it. It'd be far better to have it on a stand or a mini tripod. When I started running the video and infrared, if you look to your left of the screen, you'll see a flashlight in a backyard, left side of the screen. And it's very interesting because I thought I had seen a coyote. And there you go, there's the flashlight. So with the infrared, it illuminated that area even more than with the street lamps. That was what I thought. Didn't see the coyote again, he or she, or it was a very large dog unattended. We live near a canyon, so coyotes aren't out of the question. I'm using the infrared right now, and I'm laboring to keep this thing in focus. It's not an autofocus device, and that is an issue. The street that faces our house, that area that you see right now, that is with infrared. It's normally pretty dark. There's ambient light where those two cars are. That's about a quarter of a block from us. This is a house that's just catty corner to us, diagonally across. And there is a lot of ambient light, but I was able to turn on the infrared and turn it off, and I could appreciate the areas that were not being illuminated by ambient. When I turned the infrared on, it did illuminate those areas. Trees at a higher elevation were a good example. At the back, I am panning, basically doing a left to right pan against part of our back wall. There are some tall trees, and I just turned on the infrared. So now I'm panning from right to left. None of that was visible, even though I was only maybe 15 feet, 15 to 30 feet when I pan to the far left. Right there is a fountain. At the top, that's actually a hummingbird feeder. You can't see it now. But I'm zooming in on the fountain. I was wondering if I'd be able to see the water. Again, this scope is hard to focus because the screen is so small. But when I saw definition in the vegetation behind the fountain, the detail there, then I thought it was as good as it was going to be. But it's highly pixelated. Okay, so I started the review here at the review table and gave you my thoughts about the machine here. I just got back from outside of our home, and as I mentioned in my video, I guess fortunately we have too much ambient light for this to dramatically show you how you can spot an elk at 500 feet. What I will, not that we have elk in our neighborhood, we do have deer, but not elk, and not that often. We live near a canyon, so bottom line, it does work. It works as it is advertised. I find it to be an interesting item. I'm probably going to pack it in with my my emergency kit in my daily vehicle just for the heck of it. I had it on a medium-sized tripod. I put it on a medium-sized tripod outside, and all the panning I did and everything, even with that, because this is such a small instrument, any minor move is going to be seen in the optics. You're going to see, you know, the image area going up and down and shaking. The price point on this, as I remember, see, I took the notes, put them in my office. I think it's about 130, 131, 32. That's commensurate. That's actually right on the button and fair. I think if I were shelling out for one of these, I would recommend you get the binocular version. It's not really a binocular, but it looks like one. The screen, however, is larger, much larger. You need a bigger screen with one of these. So instead of paying $130, if you budget up to, you don't have to include 200. I think you can do it for under. The money needs to go toward a bigger screen because, again, I think it deserves 5 stars, and it's ironic because before I went out tonight and used it, I would have probably given it 4, and then I would have been upset about the buttons. But as I figured, the more I fiddled with it, the more I was comfortable with the buttons. I knew how to turn it on, turn on the IR, shut it off real quick. And that was the most interesting thing. So I'll leave you with this thought. What really makes you realize the value of an active infrared scope like this, active meaning it illuminates with infrared and then you view with an infrared sensitive camera, etc. The ability to turn on the infrared and turn it off actually shows you what utility you're getting out of this thing. So with that, 5 stars. Not a bad item. It's just that it's opened my eyes to this type of active infrared scope for night vision. And I think I would, again, invest in something just a bit more expensive to get a larger screen, a larger viewing area.